now. The affirmation: I find my power in this very moment. I find my power in this very moment. There is power in this very moment. Yesterday is past, and tomorrow is not yet here. There is only this moment, ripe with promise and potential, ready for me to live into it fully. Through my many divine gifts, everything I need to get started is within me. I need not wait for the perfect moment to arrive, because there is no time more perfect than now, and no place more perfect than here. Procrastination has no place in my life. I fritter away my energy when I find reasons not to get started, losing my zeal and focus and inviting frustration into my life. Today I claim the power of the present and say, this is the day I begin. Now is the time to begin, to serve, to forgive, to create, and to love. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. See, now is the acceptable time. See, now is the day of salvation.
We are in transformation. Transform me, awaken my true possibilities. Transform me, renew my mind in honesty, 'cause I'm ready to be used by you. Transform me, fill me with your righteousness. Transform me, renew my mind and consciousness, 'cause I'm ready to be used by you. Transform me, transform me, transform me, transform me, transform me. Make me an overcomer. Transform me, renew my life and no reserves. I'm ready to be used by you. Transform me, 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 transform me. Take my mind, take my soul, take my heart, everything. Take my body, take my voice, take my heart, everything. Take my mind, take my feet, take my hands, everything. Take my body, take my soul, take my mind. Transform me, transform me, transform me, transform me, transform me, transform me, transform me.
Happy Sunday, beloveds, and welcome into another experience here at Unity of Sacramento of learning and growing and sharing. And we want to remind you that no matter who you are or where you're from or who you love or how you vote, when you are here, you are at home. You are in the house that love is building here on Folsom Boulevard. And while our physical property is closed, our hearts are open, and we continue to be open to the impulse and the impress of spirit, asking the question, who and what are we being called to be at this particular time? And in a big way, we are being called to respond to what is happening around us and within us as we all move through this period of pandemic, but also period of very challenging weather events. And I want you to know that you don't move through it alone. You're here with your spiritual tribe, with your community. Type in the chat room, I've got people. Go ahead and type in the chat room, I've got people. I've got people. I want you to know that as you move through this very stormy period, both metaphysically and literally, as you move through this stormy period, you are not moving through it alone. You've got people. And of course, these people are symbolic of the ways in which the presence of God is all around you. If you my people right now, I want you to throw some hearts and thumbs up. Let me see and feel you in the chat room, that you are my people. And I'm sending you love from your spiritual home. We're moving through this together. And as we have been moving through this process, as we've been moving through this season, we're having more and more chances, more and more opportunities to face what must be an evolutionary call upon our lives. Do you feel like that the screws are tightening, and every week we're getting more and more chances and more opportunities to change and transform? And what we've been experiencing around here on this campus is every week we've had to take a step back and to ask ourselves, who are we being called to be right now? So I'm inviting you into our process of looking at ourselves as we move through this evolutionary journey. And one of the things that's being called for right now more than ever is healing. There is a call in the land for healing. And I understand that. Healing personally, healing physically, healing socially, healing emotionally, healing mentally. There's this call for healing. And if it's all right with you, I want to spend some time helping us to develop, as my message is titled, The Courage to Heal. The courage to heal. And you might want to point yourself in the first person and say, my courage to heal. Personalize this message this morning. My courage to heal. Let's start with a little scripture to get us moving. We are familiar with Ecclesiastes 3. And there's a line in Ecclesiastes 3 that is often overlooked, talking about the seasons, a time to love and a time to hate, all of that beautiful poetry. But then there's this line there, Ecclesiastes 3:2. And it says, it's a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. There is a time to plant and there is a time to pluck up that which is planted. And the reason why I selected this passage and why it calls me to it, because healing often takes courage. Healing is not this made-for-TV, once-in-a-lifetime event. Healing often calls us to change something that we've got comfortable with, whether it is a condition that's been favorable or an uncomfortable, unfavorable position. Sometimes in order to heal a thing, I've got to confront and change something. The reality is, if we want to change what's going on in this country, we have to come into the realization that we cannot fix what we will not face. We cannot fix what we cannot face. And so healing will have to happen once we have come to the realization that I am willing to face the things that I've been afraid to fix. So as we push off into this healing journey, let us come to the realization right from the beginning, right from the start, that it's going to take courage, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. What is planted in you and me that no longer serves us? What is planted in your relationships that no longer serves you? What is planted in your community that no longer serves you? What is planted in the nation that no longer serves us, and it is that needs to be served notice? What is rotting and rooting in your soul that's causing your soul sickness? Tell somebody we got to pull it up. Put it in the chat room. We've got to pull it up. We've got to pull it up. Let's look at it just a little bit. I want you to, again, this week, be attentive with me. Again, this week, be studious with me. Again, this week, be walking with me and processing. I want your cerebral faculties to be activated and consciously thinking this week. I don't want to entertain you. I want to challenge you to become more consciously aware. So what is healing as I'm looking at it through the lens of Ecclesiastes 3:2? Healing is a choice to confront the offending event of the past with the truth. Healing is a choice to confront the offending event of the past with the truth. Healing is a process that occurs, and it impacts us mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, economically, and socially. It is not an oversimplified thing. How many of us have deeply rooted grudges and anger and bitterness in us because of a past event that we haven't gotten over? Come on, tell the truth and stay in church. I ain't over it yet. Come on, I ain't over it yet. I ain't over it yet. And I'm telling you that it's not an overnight thing to heal it. At some point, I've got to recognize that in order for me to be healed, in order for me to be fully free, I must commit myself to the process. I want to ask you this morning, for those of you who want to be healed, whether it is a mental, spiritual, emotional healing, a healing in our community, a healing in the society at large, are you all in for the process of healing? Healing is an all-in process. Type that in the chat room. Healing is an all-in process. My healing is an all-in process. We're not talking about any topical changes here. I'm not talking about my kids who come in to avoid their bedtime. If you got kids, you know about this one. At bedtime, after they have played the hardest and after my wife and I have laid down the law about this is the final warning for tonight. Go to your beds, your designated bedrooms, lay down, close your eyes, go to sleep. And suddenly after that foot has dropped, somebody discovers some little injury that they must rush into our room for some healing, some cure. Look, I got a little boo-boo. This is their effort to stay awake. Who knows what I'm talking about? So they come in and they try to get this little Band-Aid, and it's all it is, a kiss and a Band-Aid. The kind of healing that I'm talking about is not this topical Band-Aid, give it a kiss and make it go away. Kiss it and it'll be better. Who's ever tried that one? So I'm talking about an all-in process that we must make. And it's not an easy thing. Here's the next thing. Healing happens in concert, not in isolation. Healing happens in concert, not in isolation. So yes, sometimes as a part of our healing process that we have to remove ourselves from the places and spaces where we're hurt. However, or from the places and spaces where we have been hurt or from those who have offended. I understand that. However, when I pull myself away from that experience, is the hurt still happening in my soul? Am I still left with the poisonous and the painful and the bitter aftertaste of that experience? At some point, there must be this birthing of humility that of myself, I can't do this alone. In other words, I've got to come out of the know-it-all syndrome. In order for me to heal myself, I want to heal myself in concert with a community of assistance. I first want to come to the place within myself where I'm willing to ask for help. Can anybody say, because this is the thing that we have an issue with here, why we don't move forward, why we don't heal. We suffer, you ready for this? We suffer for having been firmly planted in the disease of being ourselves. The habit of being you. The habit of doing the same things over and over again. The habit. And so in that habit, if I cannot manage it in the way that I have come to know, because what happens is I get this myopic point of view about life. My viewpoint is so narrow, so tiny, until I think that the only way it can happen is the way that I presently know. And so inside of this narrow worldview and way of seeing it, I close myself to possible solutions and I continue to replicate the pattern that creates and keeps the sickness alive in my life, in my world, in my affairs. You know the best thing you can say? The best, the most liberating thing you can do to begin the process of healing is admitting, I don't know how to get myself out of this mess. Shout it in your living room right now. Shout it in your kitchen right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the heck I'm doing right now. Are you hearing me? Because when I can come to that point of humility, then and only then am I cracking open the window. I'm cracking the door for the kind of assistance that is available from the presence. But when you've got it all locked up, when you're in your I know it all, I got it. How many times have you said, I got it? It tells me that your ears are closed. It tells me that your heart is closed to solutions that can help change our world and change our lives. Be willing to open yourself for support. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to fix this. But so help me God, I'm committed to walking all the way through till I find my help. Why do we care so much? Why do we care so much? Why do we care so much about healing? Why is it in us to get out of it, even when we do the thing that we know we shouldn't do that keeps us stuck? Why is there still this impulse in us to do better, to do more, to be greater? Why is that still in us? Because deep down in the marrow and the fiber of who you are is the living presence of God that is already your solution. And it will not yield from pressing you to be all that you were meant and sent here to be. All that you were meant and sent here to be is encoded in your deoxyribonucleic acid. Encoded in that. Are you with me today? And so if we can remember that, that's where that pressing to be more, that pressing to do more, that pressing to have more, that pressing toward the excellence that you are, it is what we call in unity your divine nature. Here's how we get it started. We call for help. Come on, say just say help, 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 help. Michael Beckwith has an acronym for help. Hello, eternal, loving presence. Hello, H, eternal, E, L, loving, P, presence. Hello, eternal, loving presence. At some point when you get to the place that I don't know the way, then you start to make contact with the way maker. Make contact with the one that knows all ways, and you just say hello. Don't get in the shame. Today, I got a phone call from someone today. God bless her. Literally this day, before I walked into this room, I get a phone call from someone who is sitting in a place of asking the question, should I or shouldn't take my life right now, Rev Kev? I want to go. I want to go from this life happy. I want to live eternally in the presence of God. And I think that's the wrong thing to do. Should I or should not take my life right now? I feel so alone. I feel so isolated. I feel that I'm being judged by the people that I think should love and embrace me the most. And I just don't want to go out or stay in like this anymore. She was ready to take her life. And I knew that if I were to call unity, I knew that if I were to come by the church, though it's not there, I would get a solution. I would get some help because I really don't want to go through with it. But I'm thinking about it. Have you ever been to that point, that low point, where it has so mounted up on you? She says, I would have called you sooner, Rev Kev. Watch this now. I would have called you sooner, Rev Kev, but I felt ashamed for all the time that I hadn't been coming to church. And so I allowed myself not to call, not to reach out because I was in a prison of shame. I didn't want to come under the judgment. And God knows I know where she got that from. She didn't get it from Unity of Sacramento, but the church has been so guilty of giving people a dogma of prison for their pain and not a passport to their future possibilities. We've so shamed people into changing their lives. Change and transformation and healing cannot come about by shaming people. We can't shame people into heaven. We can't shame people into wholeness. We can't shame people into their unlimited potential and possibilities. We've got to stop that as a church. We must learn how to inspire people to see who and what they are in God and who and what God is in them. And once people can catch a higher idea of who they are and who they can be and what they can be for the society and the world around them, then they will do as Michael Beckwith says, reacquaint yourself with God. Hello, eternal loving presence, not from a place of shame and blame, but from an awareness that the primary cause for all of our suffering is forgetfulness. forgetfulness that we're spiritual beings made in the spiritual image and likeness of God. That level of forgetfulness. I forgot that I've got this power in me. I forgot that I've got this good in me. I forgot that I have this access in me. Oh, then you just say, hello, hello. And God turns back, is it me you're looking for? All right, I'm not going to sing to you today, but you know where I'm going with it. Healing cannot be triggered by shame and blame, but we move our healing process forward by name and claim. By name and claim, learning how to name and claim. What do I mean by naming and claim? We have this process on the staff here that as we are working from time to time, we will make mistakes. Did you know that a part of living in the three-dimensional reality, the three-dimensional world, is that there will be periods in your life where you will fall short of your divine potential. There'll be moments in your life that you will make mistakes. There'll be periods where you will stink up the place, periods where you will get the zero, the donut hole, take the L. You know what I'm talking about. And so when those things happen on the team, when we are processing, we're looking at what happened, what didn't work about our intention, we have this process of looking at the way in which we dropped the ball, naming the way things fell outside of our intention, and then claiming it. You know how we do it? We say, I take credit for that. Come on, just type it in the chat. I take credit for that. I'm not blaming. I name it. I name that my health is out of order. I name that. I name the physical condition in my physical body is out of order. I recognize that. I'm not in denial about that. I understand where I am. I name that I'm living inside of an addicted mindset. I live inside an addicted mindset. And then I claim it. To claim is to take credit for. I take credit for the path I took to get me here. I take credit for the path I took to get me here, which puts you in a powerful place of ownership. Not blame, not shame. I'm taking credit. Why? Why take credit? Because you were taking some steps. Even if the steps were missteps, you were moving. Are you with me? I don't want you to be motivated by blame and shame. I want you to be motivated by name and claim. Name the ways in which you may have fallen short, and then claim your power. Take credit for where it is that you've reached. You're not at 0. You might be at 2. That's good. 2% of you go, wherever it is. And then own the future as it relates to that. You've got power in that. Right now, we are in the city of Sacramento, and we are experiencing some terrible weather conditions. Terrible weather conditions. In Sacramento, for those of you who are watching from around the country, in different parts, dangerous. In fact, it's deadly. And we've just experienced one of the worst storms that I've seen in my 10 years being in this city. And last night, people died in our streets. And more will continue to die. I attended a city council meeting just listening in, and I heard the blaming. I heard it. You shoulda, woulda, coulda. You knew winter was coming. This whole pattern of having someone to throw it at. And I understand there is a degree of responsibility that our elected and our leadership must take in this moment. And even I had to sit with the reality that during a pandemic, I chose to close the doors of this church out of protection for myself and my spiritual community, but I must admit, I did not ask the question that Dr. King is asking us to remember in these times. To paraphrase him, he says, the smaller question is, if I do this, what will happen to me? He says, the greater question is, if I don't do this, what will happen to them? And during this pandemic, this back and forth, this has been such a transformational period for me, for our spiritual community, for our staff, for our team, and for the world. We're moving through a time where we're being called up to be more than we've ever been before. And I had to ask myself that question. I don't want to get in the blame, the shame, and the guilt, and the fear, and the drama and the trauma of why weren't we available? I want to get in the moment of what would it be like to live inside of the question, who can we be for our community at its most vulnerable point? And here's what I have come to know and discover about this, and I want you to discover it about yourself, because this leads to healing, this leads to wholeness, this leads to oneness, this leads to a sense of peace. I've discovered that when I ask questions that are larger than my personal needs, I give God room to work in the situation like never before. So when it comes to healing, whatever the ways we have fallen short, whether it's in a relationship, because it's always in relationship to something, whether it's in relationship to the past, relationship to community, relationship to conditioning. The process is this. Ready? Ready? I'm willing to face the facts, tell the truth about those facts, accept accountability for my power to change those facts, offer myself, if I was the offender, as one who is capable of being humble enough to amend those ways about me that created the painful facts, and then recommit myself to the process of being what God has created me to be. Perfect, whole, beautiful, complete, happy, free, prosperous, generous, courageous, loving. This is why we're not going to be able to change the history of this country. Right now, there's a call for unity. There's a call for healing. There's a call for us to come together. But there's this call to rush to that point of healing without a real sense of accountability, a real sense of truth telling. You got to tell the truth, America, about what's been going on that created what happened. We don't have to make you feel bad and shame you and blame you, but we got to put some naked bottom truth on the table. And when we put that naked bottom truth on the table and then claim our part in the seeming offense, what happens is something miraculous. Then God gets in there with us to help change our circumstance. Because here's the reality, friends. You're not going to do it by yourself. Whether you do it as a Congress of the United States, that's not enough. Whether you do it as a husband and wife, that's not enough. Whether you do it as someone committed to change the community, that's not enough. Here is the formula that is spelled out in 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their erroneous ways, then will I hear from heaven and forgive their error and will heal their land. So inside of it all, I am asking that we do our part to own the drama, the trauma, the facts of this experience, take accountability, tell some truth, and then open ourselves to saying help. Hello, eternal loving presence. We need a bigger idea. We need one that's not driven by fear. We need one that's not rooted in separation. We need one that's not grounded in blame and shame. We need one that's not hinged on the hurts of the past. Oh, let us hear from you, God. And I know that when we hear from you and we act on what we hear, then you have the power to work through us to heal our land. And your land is whatever your neighborhood of concern is, that's your land, that's your territory. Your neighborhood of concern is the land that God will heal to give you a bigger idea of yourself, capable and able to do things that you hadn't even thought of. Here tonight, this very night, we had this lady move through a self-forgiveness process. She had to forgive herself for talking about taking her own life. She didn't want that in her biochemistry. Forgiveness doesn't make it all go away. It doesn't change the history, but it changes your relationship to the history. It changes your narrative, your story, your claim to the pain. I don't want to hold claim to the pain anymore. I want to hold that anymore. I want to hold something different. So tonight, when she humbled herself, and was open to forgiving and freeing herself, this lady who was at the point of self-destruction was opened up to seeing that it was not just about her and people looking out and caring for her. It was about who could she be a beneficial presence to. And in shifting her sights, she developed the courage. You ready for this? She developed the courage to heal. You know what the secret to the courage, to having courage to heal is? It's called unselfishness. She got beyond her selfish complaint. And she had the courage to see not her problem, but perhaps the way she could be available to help others with theirs. And in that moment, she got connected with inspiration and the Spirit of God moved, and she saw a future worth living for. This very day that happened. If you're feeling alone and isolated during this pandemic, if your house has been ravaged by the weather and you feel powerless to do anything about it, and you're inside of your complaint about how wrong things are, I want you to take a moment and forgive yourself. And then I want you to think about the folks who had no place to lay their heads last night. I want you to think about the nameless and unseen people who Jesus called his neighborhood of concern. And then I want you to ask God to give you a solution to be a beneficial presence in their lives, in the lives of those that go unseen. And here's what I know for sure. That inside of that consciousness, God will heal you so that God can heal through you. And so it is written, and so I have spoken it, and so you have heard it. And so it is. Amen. And amen.
You are Alpha
Omega, the beginning and the end. You reign in glory, and you reign deep within. You're a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my pathway. You cause me to walk upon the deep. You are the potter, I am the clay. I feel your power. Your power within me. I feel your power. The power that sets me free. I feel your power. You are Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. You reign in glory, and you reign deep within. You're a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my pathway. Lord, you call me to walk upon the deep. You are the potter, I am the clay. You're the beginning and the end. Oh, Lord, you reign in glory, and you reign deep within. God, I feel your power.
Thank you so much, beloveds, for being with us today. And I pray, I really do pray that the message, the ministry, the music that comes through Unity of Sacramento is reaching you, and it's walking you through, it's stepping you through this period that we're living in, and it's providing you with your spiritual food, that which gives you the optimism, the hope, and that's building inside of you a spirit of resilience, because that's what we need in these times. We need our hope, but we also need a spirit of resilience and the ability to reinvent ourselves even now. And so continue to count on Unity of Sacramento to be with you every step of the way with the word that will become flesh in your soul and make you stronger even under these challenging circumstances that we're finding ourselves in. That's our prayer for you. Let us know how we're doing on that, okay? We invite you now to participate in the circulation of abundance. Allow yourself to be a way through which the presence of God is giving. And we ask you to dedicate Unity of Sacramento as your tithing target in 2021. A tithing target is saying that I am willing to give 1/10 of all that God blesses me with and plant it as seed in the ground of this ministry, trusting that you will go further with the 90% that remains than with the entire 100%, because that's the miracle and the mystery of the seed. And so we're inviting you to trust Unity of Sacramento as the place and space where you plant your spiritual seed and trust that in expected and unexpected ways, as is mentioned in Malachi, that God will open the very windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you have not room enough to receive. I want you to walk in trust and faith this year like never before and make Unity of Sacramento your tithing target. And there are many ways you can do it, and here they are.
Visit our website at www.unityofsacramento.com. Right there at the top of the front page, you will see a donation button. Click there to visit our safe and secure push pay portal. Another easy way to give is through our Unity of Sacramento app. Download the app on your smartphone or tablet, and on the front page, look toward the bottom of the page for your giving heart, which will also take you to our push pay portal. You can also write us. Send your letters to Unity of Sacramento, 9249 Folsom Boulevard, Sacramento, California, 95826. So many people are shopping online, and if that's what you like to do, then support us through Amazon Smile. Visit smile.amazon.com and designate Unity of Sacramento as your charity of choice. You will automatically be making a contribution to our beloved community. And of course, you can always make your donation by using Venmo or Cash App, as seen on your screen.
So as you can see, there are any number of ways that you can plant a seed in this ministry and trust that God responds to you in a most personal way. And I am a witness. I am a tither plus. I not only make a tithe, I go above and beyond that. And I am also blessed plus, you know what I mean? In so many ways. And I know so many of you can bear witness to that. But let's take a moment and just set a powerful intention of increase around the money substance that you're giving and entrusting to this ministry. As I affirm, we now give our tithes and offerings to God, and we reap 100-fold, and good comes back to us in a never-ending cycle of increase and enjoyment, ever flowing, overflowing, instantly, constantly, perfectly, and permanently from all points in the universe. God's rich supply comes to, through, as, and for you right now. Thanks, God. I know that it's already done. Thank you so much for choosing and trusting Unity of Sacramento. We'll be good stewards with the resources that you give to us. All right, beloveds, just for now, we ask you to plan to be with us next week and plan to walk with us all month February as we kick off a powerful Black History celebration. It's going to be powerful, an amazing sermon series. I'm excited about it. And then stick around to get your updates in our Unity of Sacramento news, and then hang out for our virtual friendship hall. But for now, let's go forth and design and live lives of purpose, passion, peace, and prosperity, and be a force for good in the world. Peace. See you next week. And happy Sunday and welcome to another edition of Unity of Sacramento News Live. I'm your host, Reverend Kevin Ross. Rev Kev here with my main man, 100 Grand Rev E's in the building.
Hey.
Hey, Brother Rev, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
We're still wishing folks a happy new year and a happy true year. We're still reminding you to stay on your stone, stand on the rock. Whatever that word that has been revealed to you this year, that's going to be your compass and the way of being that you're moving forward this year. We're inviting you to remember to do that. And if you have not received your white stone, write to us and we will get one out to you. Our address is right here. We want all of you to join us in having a happy new and happy true year. We're still in January, so we can still say that, yeah?
Yes, but not for long.
Not for long. We're just a tick away from that. So top of the news, we are celebrating our First Lady, Anita Ross, my wife, who is the winner of the first annual SWAG Award from the organization Sacramento Women Achieving Greatness. And we're so proud. Come on, hearts and thumbs up. Give her some love and appreciation. I'm living with a celebrity, man.
I tell you.
Every week I'm making room on a shelf in our house for some other award that she's got.
I tell you, you're going to have to work a little bit harder, man.
I'm trying to keep up with her. And speaking of keeping up with Anita, she has found a way to reach women at their pace and at their time with her important work by establishing this new Meantime Love Hub. She calls it the Meantime Love Hub. And during this shelter-in-place season, she's offering people what she calls a sip of self-love. A sip of self-love. And there are these beautiful videos that she's created to let people address some of the most important areas, whether it be their self-esteem, whether it be their body image and some of the things that we struggle with, especially during shelter in place. Some, I'm not saying you women have, but she thinks that you might have picked up a COVID. I ain't gonna say it. But at any rate, shelter in place, this sip of self-love on the Meantime Love Hub means SIP is SIP, shelter in place.
I get it.
You get it?
Get it.
You get
That's sharp.
That's sharp.
Like that.
Listen to what Anita has to say about this wonderful program that's available for our powerful women and sheroes out there.
Hey, it's Anita Ross here, author, speaker, and self-love coach, and I have a very special announcement for you. I have launched a new annual membership option called the Meantime Love Hub. This membership option will give you exclusive access to my brand new A Sip of Self-Love webinar series that you can download at your own convenience. I personally created each one of these transformative 30-minute webinars while sheltering in place during COVID-19. Inside this raw and revealing series, I cover a wide range of important topics for women, like what is self-love? The first thing I want to share about self-love is that it is completely a process. It's a process because we're constantly growing, and it is a 3-part process. The first part is to know who you are. The second piece is to love who you are. And then the third piece is to express who you are. So know, love, and express. Releasing your past, loving your body now, what I call dream body. A dream body is one that reflects living authentically and loving doing so. Isn't that amazing? And that's just for starters. By becoming a member of the Meantime Love Hub, you will also have access to all future videos, teachings, worksheets, tools, and everything else I released in 2021. The content inside the Meantime Love is created specifically for women like yourself to awaken to their worth, to learn how to love themselves fully, and live extraordinary lives. The Meantime Love Hub is also a place and space to reconnect with or maintain your self-love journey. It's so important to stay connected, stay in the conversation of self-love. If you are ready to take the journey, It's really easy to join. Simply visit me at www.anitaross.net. Click on the link that says the Meantime Love Hub from the menu, and you will be on your way. And once you become a member, all you have to do is click on the member login link, and you're right in there. You're in the hub. Enjoy the journey.
And as usual, so you know it's going to be powerful. You heard it in her own words. And one of the things that she is doing for everyone enrolling in this program, she wants to donate a double tithe to Unity of Sacramento. She's going to provide 20% of every enrollment back to our spiritual home. And she doesn't have to do that, but I'm grateful and thankful that she leads by example. So check it out, ladies. It's going to be a wonderful journey that you can lead yourself, and some wonderful things coming along with that.
That's fantastic. Good news.
Listen, I'm trying to keep up with her. And so following in her footsteps, Rev E and I, wanting to get our own swag on, we have finally have an announcement date for our new book, Breathing Space, a 52-week meditation journey for centered, soulful, and successful living. Save the date, February 1st. Yes. February 1st, you are able to pre-order, and we have 2 editions of this book that's coming out. We have the soft cover, and then we have the special edition hardcover. Tell them about the special edition hardcover.
The special edition hardcover is full color. And so it's really spectacular. When you open it up, it's just gonna pop and speak to you like living color. It's gonna live in your hands.
It is, and we call it a meditation journey because it's not only something that appeals to you through the spoken word, but visually it's something that takes you into a journey. So we've thought of quite a few things, and so save the date. Watch your app, watch your e-blast for details on how you can be first in line to order your copy of our Breathing Space book that's coming out. 52 weeks of centered, soulful, and successful living.
Wow, it's so good to make that announcement, Rev.
Well, you know, we can't let Anita do all the miraculous wonders, you know?
Yes, the Spirit does work through us as well.
Indeed. And speaking of which, Black History Month is coming up, where we will get a chance to celebrate the accomplishments of great African Americans and individuals from the African diaspora. Rev E, what can they expect on Sundays during Black History Month at Unity of Sacramento?
Well, we're going to introduce a wonderful series entitled The Gospel According to, where we are going to highlight the accomplishments of several icons of Black history. People like John Lewis and C.T. Vivian and Shirley Chisholm and Abrams and Stacey Abrams and of course Kamala Harris and many others. It's going to be a month full of excitement, and it's culminating with Freedom Sunday.
And Freedom Sunday is where we turn over the service to Reverend Charles and our exciting music ministry, and they will take us through a powerful journey of some of the most important music that marks our African American sojourn here in the United States, but also some new music that you're gonna love. And so it's going to be a powerful February to remember, so get ready, mark your calendars, tell folks to be with us for Black History Month 2021. I'm excited about that. And of course, it's kicking off a year-long, lifelong acknowledgement of the accomplishments and contributions of people of the African diaspora in our country. Yes?
Yes.
All right. It takes a month to kick it off. That's what it is. February is also an important month around here at Unity of Sacramento. It is our annual membership meeting on the 28th of February, immediately following services. This is your opportunity to hear the State of the Spiritual Community report, to get a sense of our financial standing, to hear from your Board of Trustees all the work that they've been up to and your staff. We'll give you reports, and it's also an opportunity to elect new members to our Unity of Sacramento Board of Trustees. And so we want you to be present immediately following the service on February 28th. We also want you to partake in voting if you are a member of Unity of Sacramento and you are ready to cast your ballot in support of candidates who will be running for our Board of Trustees. We are going to email you a test run, okay? In your inbox, you will have a link to just practice voting, because due to COVID-19, we have to vote online, and we're having this meeting online. And so we want you to test it out to make sure you are equipped. So on that day, your vote will count, and we want your vote to count on that particular day, and any day that we are asking you to participate. So watch your e-blast, and if you are not certain of your membership status, we ask you to call Unity of Sacramento, ask to speak with Janelle, and let's get your records updated to make sure that you are on our membership rolls. It's very important as we take care of this important business. As we get closer to the 28th, we will also be announcing the candidates who will be running for this incoming Board of Trustees. And I want to say, we have the best board ever. I can't even, this is my COVID board, my COVID dream team. It's been amazing.
They have been amazing. I mean, all through the pandemic and even before then. But really, I don't think we understood who we had on board until now.
Right. Well, I mean, look at it. This board has never physically met, come together to do the church's business. I want you to think about that. And yet they've been such a powerful force in helping us move through these times. And so a big shout out to Hung Lee and the whole Board of Trustees. Hung Lee is our board president and everybody who serves on the board. So please be with us on the 28th of February to make your voice and vote count and to be informed of what's going on in your spiritual community. All right. Now, February is still packed because we are starting something concurrent with a new series that we're going to be getting ready for in the month of March. But starting off in February during the Lenten season, we are introducing a new class that we're calling the Jesus Journey. And Rev E and I are going to tag team the Jesus Journey course, following Jesus from the cradle to ascension. All the questions you may want to ask. What are some of the questions that we're going to explore in the Jesus Journey course?
Well, it's all of it really, because we're going to take, through these 6 weeks, we're going to take a journey on Jesus's life from the cradle all the way to ascension, and so many wonderful things in between.
Like what? Like what? Give us a question. What's one question we might explore?
We may explore Jesus's mission and how that came about. We'll also explore Jesus's mentor. What was John the Baptist all about, and how was there a connection there?
We're also going to look at Jesus the activist and look at his social influence of his time and how powerful he was there. We're going to look at a variety of different aspects of Jesus that you may not have ever even considered. So join us for the Jesus Journey beginning February 22nd. It's an online course. You can register online, and the information is here in your e-blast, and it's at 7 p.m. on Monday nights, starting February 22nd. We want to see you there. Have this class packed out. You're going to love this one, okay? And it's going to be our way of working through the entire Lenten journey.
And I can't wait. This is going to be so powerful.
As always. Just before we go, we want to talk to you about being of service in the beloved community. Even though our physical doors are closed, our hearts are open, and we're finding ways to still do what we call this worshipful work, giving back of ourselves in service to God in the spiritual community. And many of you pledged and raised your hands and said that you are committed to being a force for good in the world. And so the big give did not go away because COVID came. We found ways to adapt, and we want you to continue to respond to that powerful call that was issued. And so many of you responded. In fact, right now you're seeing on the screen those of you who walked up and you said yes. You walked up and you said, I'm in. We want you to remember that. And so there are a couple of important opportunities that we think are easy and COVID safe enough for you to participate in, but that will be a big help and a big give on your part to Unity of Sacramento. We have coming up the need for individuals to help us to update our records by participating in some data entry. And you can come in the building to do that, have your own station to do that, and populate it in a safe way, but it'll be a big help to our administration. Also, we have a mailer going out pretty soon here, and we could use a few of you who can sit safely and help us put the important elements and information together to send out to our community. And we always have a good time. We feed you when you come in. Don't we feed them?
Oh, a lot of food.
We know how to make you taste, put the taste of service in your mouth, you know? So come out for that. And then remember, one of our big fundraisers during COVID-19 was our fireworks sale. Do you know we were able to generate about $15,000 for Unity of Sacramento? Well, during that time, leading up to that, we're going to need some support in standing that whole process up. And so reach out to Janelle at Unity of Sacramento, our administrative manager. Her information is right here. She will definitely help step you through the process for doing your big give. And we thank you in advance for being a force for good, force for God, force for love, especially now. And that's about it for now. We're going to ask you to stick around and jump in with us. Right after this, join us for our virtual friendship hall. It's our chance to hang out and to talk a little more face to face, eye to eye, reflect on the sermon, see some faces you haven't seen in a while, and just extend the love of God to one another. Wouldn't that be great? Mm-hmm. We miss seeing you. We look forward to seeing you in just a few minutes. The information is right here. Jump on in the Zoom room. We'll be waiting for you. Peace and love.